Hi, I'm John Costine, and welcome to Port Talk. In connection with the Shore Logistics Networking Group, we welcome you to our networking platform called Port Talk. On Port Talk, we will be highlighting our members and their company services and explore how they fit into the global supply chain. Today with me is Stephen Lyman, the Executive Director of the Maritime Association of New York and New Jersey. Stephen, welcome to Port Talk, and I appreciate you having on today.
Thanks for having me, John.
Stephen, we all know that there's many links to the global supply chain pulling together to make it happen day in and day out. Can you tell me more about the Maritime Association of the Port of New York and New Jersey and how you fit into the mix here?
Absolutely. So the Maritime Association of the Port of New York and New Jersey has been around since 1873. It was actually created by a bunch of shipping companies in Lower Manhattan that really wanted to focus on the maritime industry and really work together in order to improve the industry. At that time in 1873, there weren't really any organizations that were operating to count the vessels that were coming in, to let everybody know what pier a vessel was going to. So we were actually created by legislature in New York to provide that service. Today, we still provide that service. We provide reports on arrivals, departures, and what's at berth. But also what we do a lot of work doing is advocacy for the commercial maritime industry within our region.
Well, and I see that you've been pretty active lately. Tell me, what's going on recently with you guys.
Sure. So recently, we led a delegation to Washington, D.C., spoke to legislators about port infrastructure. We saw a huge increase in cargo coming to the ports of New York and New Jersey over COVID. Now that we've kind of leveled out, we are still increasing from where we were in 2019, but we know that there's infrastructure work that needs to be done in order to accommodate where we're going.
Now, as you see, the volumes that we're looking at right now are probably around 2019, 2018 levels. Who really knows what's going to happen in the next 6 months, year, even longer than that. What are your main focus points for the next year or so for the maritime industry here in the ports of New York?
If I had a crystal ball, I'd be able to answer that more accurately, but really what we do is we focus on the issues that come to us through our membership. Our membership consists of marine terminal operators, port authority, economic development, the tug and barge community, as well as a bunch of other interested parties within supply chain and logistics.
Now, I think I saw you recently on a cruise ship. Am I correct on that?
You are correct, yes.
So tell me, where were you going?
So, we didn't leave the dock in Bayonne. One of our board members is Captain Tom Hinderhofer from Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. And he was nice enough to arrange for us to have a board meeting on board the Anthem of the Seas.
Anthem of the Seas.
Anthem of the Seas, yes. Fitting, right?
Yes, exactly. Well, let me ask you a question here, Stephen. How'd you get in the industry?
That's an interesting question. Thanks, John. Very many years ago, I applied for a job via the newspaper, and I started working for the Seamen's Church Institute, which really exposed me to the industry. I didn't really think much about supply chain before the Seamen's Church Institute.
Well, even with the Seamen's Church, I've known you from back then as well, too, and you gave me a tour of the facility, and there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that, a lot of people don't know about, and the Seamen's Church is one of those organizations as well, too. And, I know you've done an outstanding job since you've taken over the role as the Executive Director of the Maritime Association. And, all I can say is that keep up the good work, and, your hard work and dedication is showing itself. You're out there day in and day out networking. After here, you're going out to a lunch. So pretty much if you see Stephen, he's pretty much busy pushing the ports in New York.
That's the goal here, right? We want to become the best gateway in the United States, if we're not already there, but also, meeting people and talking to people about what's happening in the industry at a local level, but also the industry as a whole, and trying to come together in order to come up with solutions before they become problems.
Now, let me ask you a question here, Stephen. How important is networking for you?
Networking is very important because I have to get the message of my organization out there, and building those relationships. We are an industry that is built on relationships. I know that you can definitely say that from Shore Logistics.
Sure.
So I find that being out there and talking to folks and hearing what they have to say and seeing if there's a solution that the Maritime Association can bring to an issue.
Well, I know you're doing a darn good job at it, and you know I'm very excited to see what's coming down the line for the ports in New York here. Now, the most important thing that we're going to discuss here today is, what do you do for fun?
Well, when I have fun, I am on a bowling league, so I do bowl, and I understand that Shore Logistics has a bowling event coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Nice segue into that, Stephen. I appreciate that. That is correct.
No problem. And also, we do some hiking on the weekends up in the Catskills.
And what's your favorite hike?
Slide Mountain.
And tell me why is Slide Mountain your favorite hike?
It is the highest peak in the Catskills, so you know that definitely it sets the bar pretty high.
Yep.
No pun intended there.
No.
But yeah, Slide Mountain. I think it was one of the first ones that I did actually up in the Catskills, and it's the one that I go to.
Well, I mentioned to you, you know, I lace up the boots and get out there, you know, quite a bit myself, and there's nothing like getting back in touch with nature and, you know, recharging and then coming back into this insanity and realize that the next thing you want to do is say, God, just get me to the woods.
But the insanity is fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So, Stephen, how do we get a hold of you and how can we help you?
Sure. I would definitely suggest folks visit our website. It's nymaritime.org. We are a membership association, so information regarding membership is on our website. And really, you know, if there are ways to collaborate, ways to work together, we're very interested in hearing about that.
Well, I know, Stephen, you and I have known each other for quite a few years, and we're constantly talking about issues here in the ports, and, you know, you're very well up to speed with everything that's going on, and I know that if there's anything I can do to help you, you know, at the Shore Logistics Networking Group, you know, we will be more than happy to support you 100%.
Great, thanks. Really appreciate that.
Hey, my pleasure. Hey, Stephen, thanks for joining me on Port Talk today, and we'll be looking out for you at the Asbury Park Lanes in April there.
You got it.
Thanks a lot for being on. Appreciate it.